Hey, welcome back. Now is the time of the moment of any knife. When it finally graduates into being a soft piece of steel, into a hardened, almost workable piece of steel, the process is you heat it to 1550 degrees beyond non-magnetic, because that's the critical temperature when all the carbon locks in and all the grains start to form and lock the carbon and make it really nice and hard. Then after that, we're going to do this step called tempering, which causes all the grain in the steel it forms to relax a little bit so it's not so brittle. Word of warning, if you're doing this by hand, this is your last chance to do any alterations, any fixings, to try to get out as many scratches as you can. I got a few, but I'm not too worried. Make sure your tang shoulders are square. Make sure you're at your final shape, because once you harden this, a file will not touch it. And I'll show you, to show you, it's part of how to prove that your knife is solid and hard all the way through. So I'm going to stick it in the forge, let it heat up to a nice orangish color. Is a good reference if you don't have a pyrometer. And then we'll quench it in with, this is just simple old corn oil from Walmart. Just get yourself a PVC pipe, plug the end, and just fill it almost all the way to the top. Account for displacement. You stick your blade in there, the fluid's obviously going to come up, and you don't want flaming oil to come pouring out the top of the tube. It's not a good time. Alright, we're going to stick this in the forge and get ready to harden it. Alright, so if your blade is a little bit too long for your forge, what you're going to do is just slowly pass it back and forth. Like this. Every couple of passes, you want to turn it over. Because if you don't, it'll sag, and it's just a big warp in your blade. And you definitely want to make sure your heat comes up on your tang a little bit, because if you cut it off where the tang is, that's going to be what's called a cold shunt, and it's going to snap right there, and then you spend all this time and effort on a broken blade. Sit there and move it back and forth. See the color's working its way back towards the back of the knife. Sings my nose hairs a little. Hold it here. Flip it over again. I can always tell how much forging I do because how much hair I have on my hands. Like right now, it's all gone. Good for the pores, you know, or whatever those people actually care say. You want to make sure, check for straightness too, because you don't want it to warp. And then you harden it, and then you can't straighten it. Well, you can, and I'll show you how to do that. And this is nice too, because you get a good even heat. Helps with a good thorough soak. So we're almost there. So when I pull this out, I need you to step back and then record me sticking it in the tube, okay? Huh, that's cool how it peels. Alright, flip it over. It's a big moment. Watch the fire, watch the spatter. Count to about 6 or 7, pull it out, check for straightness. Alright, it worked a little bit. So you have just a few seconds to straighten this out. You stick it in a vise and just ever so lightly straighten it out. Once you get it straight, just back to the oil, let it cool down. Sit there and just waiting for it to stop smoking. Nicorette patches don't work. I'm trying to get it to quit smoking. Ha, see my bad joke? I'm full of them. Okay, that should do one final check for straightness. Looks pretty good. You just look down the edges and they look kind of, toms are hot. Look down the kind of center of the spine. This really went pretty well. That looks really good. The black oxide on there, a little bit of the oil to get off. Just good paper towel to get it off. Make sure it's cool or it'll rock your world. Just like that. So, our next step is set down. Be very careful because this is like a piece of glass. It'll just shatter. Now just set it your vise like that. Let it sit straight up because it just allows the metal to do what it does. There's no forces on it. It's just going to harden and finally cure into this shape. So you just let her sit. Get yourself a little file. Around here somewhere. What you do to check if it actually hardened well, you just run your blade, or run a file up and down. It sounds just, and your file will not bite in, because this piece of steel is as hard as your file. And if it does bite in a little bit, it's probably biting into the scale on the outside. But to tell, always have yourself like a little piece of mild steel around. This, you just sit there and file it all day long. See, hear the sound difference? And then, this is a very hard piece of metal. All right, thanks for watching this episode, guys. If you have any questions, just put it in the comments or check out my Facebook page. It's Hosenhoffen, Blades and Metalwork. Feel free to write me on there. I'm always more than happy to help you guys, especially starting off. It's tough. And the next episode will be the tempering, and we're also going to make the guard in the same episode. I'm thinking about just a little piece of 1/2-inch square stock, just a nice simple twist, something easy to do. Looks really nice if you do it right. It's a little bit difficult, but I always feel that if you push yourself to do something more difficult, the more you learn. And if you want to do knives, it's something that's not easy. And if you push yourself and make yourself do difficult things when you have to make a simple knife, it becomes easy because you don't have to work as hard. You know, oh, that's easy. I can make things that are 10 times harder than that. So you don't have to worry about it. It's all about skill building. So, like I said, if you guys have any questions or want to see more, if I missed anything, or if you have, I'll make videos. Just ask what you want to see. Like, favorite, subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next time.